Well, happy day after Lon's birthday, everyone. Thank everyone for all your wonderful, kind, sweet, goofy, wonderful, weird messages that I got yesterday on my birthday. I really appreciate it. And I love all you guys very much. So I loved it so much, I'm celebrating today as my birthday as well. Uh, it just spilled over. So there was not much in the way of gatherings or anything. It was a pretty quiet birthday. Hey, I'm packing up and every time I haven't moved in 22 years, so I haven't been faced with this mystical experience of packing up the material remnants of your own life, and so it's a mystical experience as well as being a traumatic experience. But one of the last things, books I'm packing up, of course, is my diaries, and I've read a few passages from several of my diaries already. But before I sealed it up, the box up today, I found this one. Okay, it's a beautiful sort of handmade and hand designed book that someone gave me, I think, during trip to Santa Rosa or something. That's kind of a book plate. And the reason it caught my attention, because it said, my favorite year, 2003 EV, Era Vulgara. The personal and magical diary of Lon Milo DuQuette. And there is one of my masterpiece of illustration. I'm holding the book open just like that. And now there's a quote from Shakespeare, from The Tempest, when the magician Prospero says, now does my project gather to a point. My charms crack not. My spirits obey, and time goes upright in his carriage. How now? Oh, how's the day? Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day? Well, I'm asking you, how's the day? But even more than that goofy little introduction, this is what I started to write on November 11th, my father's birthday, 2002, EV. And I'm going to read straight through because periodically you do things like this when you keep a journal. 12:58 p.m., Anaheim, California. I'm writing this from work. I brought my diary to work and worked on it. Today, my father would have been 91 years old. I'm not sure what it is that has possessed me at this particular time to resume a personal and magical diary. I had given it a rest for a while. Maybe it's because I've reached the age when I spend a lot of time thinking about yesterday and assessing my many and varied performances as an actor on the stage of life. Looking back too much is not healthy. If I'm not careful, I could forget how to look at today. Or worse, I might forget how to dream about tomorrow. Maybe it's because that horse's ass, George W. Bush, is about to start a war that America can only win by turning herself into a country more terrible than our alleged enemies. This is November 11th, 2002. Maybe it's because the California Angels, the Anaheim Angels, have just won the World Series, signaling the freezing over of hell and the complete redemption of the universe. Maybe it's because, all things considered, I'm actually a pretty happy fellow. I really appreciate every second of this happiness, and I'm constantly aware that at any moment I or circumstances could screw it all up. And so I feel the need to capture this golden moment of relative contentment. When the past is behind me, the present is satisfying, and the future holds promise. I'm calling this journal My Favorite Year, 2003. See, I'm starting it in November 2002. I'm calling this journal My Favorite Year, 2003. Of course, I have no idea whether 2003 will really be my favorite year or not. But why not be optimistic? In any case, it certainly is shaping up to be a very interesting year. Here's where I am, 50 days before the beginning of my favorite year, 2003. I'm 54 years old, 305 pounds, but otherwise in pretty good health. I've got a good head of silver hair and a beard to match. Last Saturday, my wife Constance and I celebrated our 35th wedding anniversary. Gee, it's now 53 years. She gave me a Roy Rogers Dale Evans greeting card and a bar of good chocolate. I cleaned up my office for her and let her sleep in. We live, as we have for most of our 35 years, in Costa Mesa, California. For the last 4 years, we've lived in a very cute duplex right across the street from where our son Jean-Paul attended elementary school. This place that we're leaving. We still live the sort of life we lived as a young hippie couple, except now we both have jobs. She as a library page at the City of Newport Beach Mariners Library. Me for the last 8 years at the accounting department of C.B. Richard Ellis, one of the world's largest commercial real estate firms. I like the job, even though it means commuting an hour every day. Every day since I started, I expect to get fired. I'm not a very good worker and have written most of my last 6 books while on the job. The company is so big, I'm not sure anyone knows exactly what I do here. Even though I'm fat and clumsy, we still sleep on a mattress on the floor and eat a pretty much vegetarian diet. I'm not so fussy. Maybe that's why I'm so fat. Constance decorates our little house and gardens like a cross between Beatrix Potter and Edgar Allan Poe. I drive a 1977 Volkswagen van. I traded it in for a 1984 Volkswagen van. Our son, Jean-Paul, turned 30 in February. After getting his BA from the University of California, Irvine, he moved to Japan to teach English. He loves all things Japanese, including the women. He married a beautiful woman named Miwa Oda on Christmas Day 2001 in Tokyo. This past month, October 26th, they held a ceremony for the benefit of the family in Hawaii. Constance and I took our first trip to Hawaii. The wedding was beautiful. All of Jean-Paul's boyhood chums were there, and his boyhood friends that grew up in our living room playing their role-playing games. It was very nice. They even let me officiate. My brother Mark lives in Laguna Beach. He's married for the third time. His wife is a very interesting psychic named Kathleen. It's great having a psychic sister-in-law. She always knows what I want for my birthday. My mother is still alive. I gotta digress. My brother passed away a few years ago. My mother is still alive, and she passed away a little before that, and is in the process of driving another husband to the grave, Bud. My father's name was Bud also. She'll be 89 years old this month. Last year she fell and broke her hip, and to the surprise of everyone, she's recovered pretty well. She was in no shape, however, to go to Jean-Paul's wedding in Hawaii. Our OTO lodge, Haru Raha, is more or less dormant after 25 years. I still give Monday night class. At that time, it was 30 years plus. And we initiate now and again at a beautiful temple that two wealthy members built for us at Lake Elsinore. Constance and I also travel around the country giving our mass seminars. I am U.S. National Deputy Grand Master General and Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica Archbishop. For the last few years, I've been active in the American Tarot Association and the International Tarot Society. I try to attend the conventions and various other gatherings in an attempt to shamelessly promote my books and cards. A few years ago, when I turned 50, I joined my dad's old Masonic lodge in Long Beach and have served alternately as chaplain and junior deacon. I'll be chaplain again during my favorite year, 2003. Writing career-wise, here's where they stand. I just finished my 6th book in 10 years for Wiser Books, now an imprint of Red Wheel Wiser. It is an extended commentary on the Book of Thoth and the Thoth Tarot. It's called Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. I sent in the manuscript last Wednesday. It's scheduled for release in September of my favorite year, 2003. And there's also this year a relaunch of my first Wiser book, Magic of Thelema. I'm in the process of enlarging it with new chapters and updates. They're going to give it a new cover and call it Magic of Aleister Crowley, Handbook of the Rituals of Thelema. Wiser has also asked me for a funny book on oracles. I've sent them a few things to look at. If it flies, I've proposed the title to be Funny You Should Ask. Well, it eventually became the Book of Ordinary Oracles. I'm working on, with friend Jim Brakowski, a screenplay. Jim is paying me, and I give the dollar amount here, so for helping him with the script. So that was, he paid up front. So it was a work for hire thing. So the deal was the advance in a 50-50 split with him of the writer's goodies or points if it ever gets sold and made into a film. See what I mean about 2003 shaping up to be a very interesting year. Okay? I've shared the fruits of that year, the books that I wrote during that year, just this past year during my pandemic daily readings with you. 5:15 p.m. Home from work. Magic class tonight. Quick dinner. Worked on screenplay until class arrives at 8 p.m. Starting tomorrow, I will start with my general daily journal format. Okay, let's see if I want to go on. I think I will. Tuesday, November 12th, 2002. Beautiful sunny morning, cold. Turned out to be such a routine morning, I think I will chronicle the events, things that generally happen every work day. Okay, remember I got an 8 to 5 job in the accounting department of a giant corporation. So I'll share this with you so I won't have to repeat myself every weekday. 6:45, I'm out the door and warming up the VW. As I depart for work, I chant the sacred name of Ganesha 108 times to the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel. I never omit this odd ritual when driving to work. I wouldn't think of beginning my day or a lecture or a book signing or any kind of trip without honoring the Lord of Beginnings. I am, however, too lazy to memorize all 108 names and his descriptive appellations, so I just chant his name as the only word of 4.5 rounds of Pop Goes the Weasel. Nothing too exciting to report at work today. I did get back from my friend Matt Nussbaum, accepting my invitation to be on board for the marketing of The Magicians. That's the screenplay Jim and I hope to write. I hope Matt can also be helpful in presenting the script to Alan Rickman. Time will tell. Actually, it got as far, Rickman was very interested in the project and actually signed a letter of intent to play Crowley. And we used that letter of intent to shop for studio interest. Constance called around 3:15 p.m. to tell me there was a $364 check from my old publisher, New Falcon. It's my royalties for 4 books I co-authored with Christopher Hyatt or Dr. Alan Miller. It's better than a poke in the eye. I won't get another royalty check from that publisher for another 6 months. Okay. November 13th, 6:58 a.m. I tried to belch. God bless America. I'm not going to try it, okay? I tried to belch God bless America to Constance as I walked out the door for work. I failed. Okay. The next day, November 15th, 2002. It was 27 years ago today I met Phyllis McMurtry at a motel in Dublin. She took me to her place where I was. This is too descriptive of OTO, but it was after she and her husband had their way with me. They got me drunk and fed me. Try as I might, I can't forget that night. Okay. What I've nothing racy or strange or anything like that. It's just that there's a kind of direct reference to proprietary initiatory things, but I did it in a way that made it seem really fun. So if you can imagine the ordeals of an initiation ceremony, That's what I was describing, and afterwards they got me drunk and fed me. Okay, that's where I'm going to end it today. I know it's kind of a short day, but I enjoyed reading that little thing, and it does something to your brain to revisit your thoughts, and even your masking of what was really going on in your mind and stuff during that period. It's good for the magical memory. And if you ever watched the wonderful little movie Coco, about the Day of the Dead and things like that, and how as long as you remain in someone's memory, uh, there's a certain life to this particular snapshot of your life. And if that's more or less true for people around you remembering you, how much more importantly is it for you to remember yourself? So, until tomorrow, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under well.